Good morning, everyone. We'll be starting our service this morning by singing Sanctuary. Make us aware we are a sanctuary, each made holy and loved right through. With thanksgiving, we are a living sanctuary anew. Make us aware we are a sanctuary,
Good morning and welcome everyone on this mild midsummer day. We welcome that in this sanctuary. Our opening words are from the Reverend Emerson Lang. Come into this place which we make holy by our presence. Come in with all your vulnerabilities and strengths, fears and anxieties, loves and hopes. For here you need not hide, nor pretend, nor be anything other than who you are and are called to be. Come into this place where we can touch and be touched, heal and be healed, forgive and be forgiven. Come into this place where the ordinary is sanctified, the human is celebrated, the compassionate is expected. Come into this place, together we make it a holy place. As always, when we begin our services, we acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional land of the Duwamish people, stewards of this land in the past and the present. With humility and gratitude, we honor this land and the Duwamish tribe and commit to our role in the story of repair of our relationship with this land and its people. Whoever you are, wherever you have come from, whatever the color of your skin, whoever and however you love, however your body moves and your brain works, however you identify, you are welcome in this faith community. Our Unitarian Universalist tradition has no test of faith, no creed or oath to swear. We have instead the promises we make to one another, the commitments we make to heal a hurting world within and beyond our walls. And good morning again. I am Lisa Reitzes, a member of the worship team, and I am joined this morning by our guest speaker, Aisha Hauser, a longtime friend of Westside. I'd also like to welcome Mark Robbie on piano, Robbie Bishop on percussion, and Marion Key on bass this morning. It is good to be together on this midsummer morning for this service on leaning into abundance. So now let me introduce Aisha to those of you who may not have met her. Aisha currently serves as one half of the lead ministry team of the Church of the Larger Fellowship, which is the Unitarian Universalism's largest congregation whose global membership is tied together remotely. Aisha is an accomplished religious educator, facilitator, author, curriculum developer, and anti-racism advocate. Her experience includes serving 3 UU congregations on both the east and west coasts of the U.S., and working for the Unitarian Universalist Association as Children and Families Program Director as part of the team that developed the Tapestry of Faith comprehensive curriculum. In 2017, Aisha co-created the UU White Supremacy Teach-In movement. The teach-in resulted in 2/3 of our UU congregations making time to understand how institutional racism and white supremacy was playing out in liberal faith communities. Aisha's writings are featured in collections published by Skinner House. Most notably, she's one of the authors in the groundbreaking book, Centering, Navigating Race, Authenticity, and Power in Ministry. Welcome, Aisha. So glad to have you back. I see lots of faces I haven't seen before. Some of them are here for Aisha, I suspect. But that's great. So glad you're here. And if you are here for the first time or the first time in a while, we're especially glad to see you today. If you haven't already, please scan the QR code in the Pew Card to fill out our welcome form and sign up for our newsletter, the West Side Week. This chalice is the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist heritage. May its heat energize us for the work that is ours to do. May its light make our vision clear and bright. May its warmth comfort us always. And this morning, as we light this flame, we mark this time as sacred time. We mark this space as sacred space. Our chalice lighter today is Dejan Shergood. Dejan, would you please come forward? And now, as Dejan lights our chalice, please join me in speaking the words of our congregation's affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To seek together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship. Thus do we covenant with one another. Thank you, Dejan. And now let's take a few moments to greet the neighbors around us. As I said, there are lots of people to meet this morning. Take a few minutes to say hello. I haven't seen Eric. I remember who
Peg was here. Yeah. No, I asked him and a couple of friends. I said, hey, I'm preaching. So it's great. It's very sweet. Yeah, I do. Pam is here. I'm friends with Pam. You know Pam Morbach who did the
Yes, of course.
She's
Yes,
here.
of course.
She came this morning and a few personal friends. Yeah.
Oh, really nice. Really nice.
Yeah. So, but it's usually this size. I mean, it's not that much bigger, right? This is about usually how many
This
people?
is summer crowd. We do get bigger
In the winter, in the fall.
and spring for sure.
It's great.
Yeah.
And plus, when you're competing with the sun.
Exactly. Right. And I think it's As always, it is wonderful to see these lively conversations. We hope you'll continue them after the service at coffee hour. If you're new to the building, take any stair downstairs. It'll get you to coffee. So, as is our community tradition, our chalice lighter has been asked to speak from the heart so that we may get to know them better. Dejan has agreed to offer a piece of poetry that is meaningful to him.
Hi, I'm Dejan, and I've been a UU for in the neighborhood of 40 years or so, and a member here for 17, so I'm starting to get the hang of it. I wrote this poem back in 2006, but I kind of like it, and it sort of talks about how I am. So, never hold back. That's the name of it. A star is born in abstract space of contracting hydrogen plasma, sucks itself together. The new star is in a state of constant all-out explosion. It takes a very long time to finish. It's our sun. A planet emerges third from the sun, with hostile landscape and deadly air. There is a traveler, life, trudging against every contention, rising up, it takes a stance, plunges outward, ubiquitous. With each new foray, every time a species is canceled, that was a last-ditch effort, time and time again. Leopards hide, await the wildebeest parade. Nearby, a water hole. All the oxen free? I don't think so. I spring from this heritage, from all or nothing at all. How then can I be timid, waiting, holding back? I hope to die in pursuit, without a care or concern, nothing hoarded in reserve, clutching to myself only joy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dejan. That was beautiful. I invite you now all to rise in body or spirit as we sing hymn number 134 in the gray hymnals, Our World is One World.
It is now our time for all ages, which will be led by Aisha today. So anyone of any age who wishes to see or hear Aisha better, come sit down on the floor or in the front pews. After our story, our teaching today, children and youth will be invited to join today's religious exploration program downstairs, which will focus on nature and sacred connection to earth through mindful reflection and painting rocks. I always read these and I want to go, so yeah.
Same.
Yep. Our usual RE activity stations will also be available, such as play silks, zine making, values color pages, and costuming. So note, you can learn all about our summer RE program by subscribing to the Inside RE newsletter and or Leilani's DRE blog, Creatively UU. Both of those links are in the newsletter. So, there's the mic.
Thank you. I love coming to West Seattle. And now, if you speak Arabic, Aisha, or if you speak any other language and can say Aisha, that works too. So, who has heard the term potlatch? Oh, excellent. So I'm going to talk about, for those of you who didn't raise your hand, what a potlatch means. Now, the word itself comes from Chinook jargon, and the word is jargon. I looked it up online. I'm like, is this really? It is, and it means to give. So in many native indigenous tribes of the Pacific Northwest, a potlatch, so it means to give, but also a potlatch can mean a party.
And in that party, now when you have a birthday party, what are some of the things that happen? What happens when you have a birthday party or when you go to a birthday party? What do you bring with you usually?
If it's my own, I bring the party supplies to set up, and if it's someone else's, I make sure to bring their gift.
So when it's someone else, so when it's your party, you put up the decorations, and when someone else, and when it's yours, or when it's someone else's, you bring a gift, right? Well, a potlatch, when you're invited to a potlatch, you get a gift. The person who hosts the potlatch, yes, shares what they have. So in many of the Coast Salish indigenous tribes that are both in the northwest of the United States and in Canada, because before colonization, there were not these arbitrary borders, the way people showed that they were wealthy, which means how they let everyone know they had a lot, was not to keep it and build a portfolio. It was to give it away. That is how folks in the Northwest, part of indigenous native tribes, showed that they were wealthy. So when they had a lot of fish, they would invite everyone to a potlatch and give away all their fish. So here's the part of the story that when I was researching how I wanted to talk about this, that both surprised me and made me sad. I don't know why I was surprised, but I was, and I was sad. In the late 1800s in Canada, the Europeans who had come here and took the land, stole it, decided that they didn't like the idea of potlatches because they think you should not give away the fish. So they made them illegal. So the native tribes were not allowed to have a potlatch. They were told, you are not allowed to have a party and you are not allowed to give anything away. What do y'all think about that? Boo! That's right. Same. So, in 1921, a man named Don, I'm going to get his name correct, so let me read what it said. So, in January 1, 1885, the law read, every Indian or other person who engages in or assists in celebrating the Indian festival known as the potlatch or in the Indian dance is guilty of a misdemeanor and shall be liable to imprisonment. Yeah, boo. So, in 1921, Dan Cranmer held the largest potlatch up until that point, since it was made illegal. Yeah. 45 people were arrested for dancing and giving away things and having a party. You hear how absurd that is, right? Yeah. So and actually there was an outcry and more of a recognition of what are we doing here? Not an exact quote by anybody, but that's kind of, I imagine, how people who are reasonable, who don't want to outlaw parties and sharing, felt. So what I read is in about 1950, Canada simply erased the law. They didn't make a big public, hey, we goofed. They just kind of pretended it didn't happen, which one day you'll learn about gaslighting, and that's a whole nother sermon for another day. And so part of Truth and Reconciliation in Canada, which hasn't happened yet in the United States, but there was a commission with the First Nation people, the Indigenous people of Canada, and an apology of outlawing potlatch, among many other harmful things that happen. And so today, when you all are downstairs making beautiful rocks, I will be talking more about, one of the things we could do now, we could bring back the idea of gift exchange, of being wealthy, meaning we give away what we have and share. So that is what a potlatch is, and there are a lot of resources that are really cool online from Indigenous sources that you can learn about and hear from the folks directly. So that is the story of potlatch. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Aisha, for that teaching us about potlatch. I learned many things. So now, as our children and youth go to their activities, let's all sing them out with As You Go. a moment, we will share in our offering a practice of generosity that sustains the work of this congregation within our walls and in the wider human community to which we belong. Each month, 1/3 of our undesignated offerings are donated to a partner organization. For the month of July, our community giving recipient is the Congregation of the Larger Fellowship's Worthy Now Prison Ministry, which offers support to incarcerated UUs around the world, including about 2,000 in the United States. This program declares that all persons are worthy of love, respect, and support, just as they are right now. Worthy Now members receive regular UU publications, as well as inspiring books and faith development materials from Beacon Press. Worthy Now also sponsors a UU Pen Pal ministry, a life-saving one-on-one letter-writing program for UUs living in prison. Worthy Now invites people on both sides of prison walls into beloved community. And Aisha was generous enough to share with me a letter from an incarcerated UU, which I'd like to read now. Quest Monthly, Jennifer Johnson, Beth Murray. I address this to the three as it is my hope that my words will reach all involved. This letter is concerning the March 2021 issue and the article Remembering John. I have been a member of the UU family for almost 10 years now. I have been incarcerated for almost 25 years. Through my time and experience of incarceration and being around people incarcerated longer than I have never had anything touch me so much as this one article. We get cards around the holidays that say, "You are not forgotten," and you cannot imagine what that means to some of us, but this piece really touches a spot in my soul. I have lost so much being incarcerated. My family and friends have passed or moved on over the years. My emergency contact information is blank. I have often wondered who would ever miss me if I passed. This touching article answered that question for me. Your kind words and acts of remembrance are soul-inspiring. I just want to say thank you for all that you do. I know that sometimes we, the incarcerated, forget to tell you all that we appreciate what you do. Please keep up the good work and know that you are not forgotten. Blessed be George. If you'd like to know more about Worthy Now, Aisha will be at the coffee hour with us. She also brought some flyers to help get you connected to this Pen Pal ministry. And now, as we receive our offering, you can give by cash or check in the baskets that will be passed around. We have envelopes in the pews to record your name on these if you would like. To give by text, follow the instructions on the screen. And now please enjoy this gift of music, What a Wonderful World, by George David Weiss and Bob Thiele, presented by Scott, Mark, Ronnie, and Marion.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them blue for me and for you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, oh, what a wonderful world.
colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, "How do you do?" They're really saying, "I love you." I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, oh, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone for giving generously as you're able to support Westside and the Worthy Now prison ministry. Your generosity of time, treasure, and presence are gifts that sustain us as a community. Every Sunday when we gather here, we take time to make collective space for holding the joys and sorrows of this community. As a reminder, the link to share your joys and sorrows can be found in our newsletter. No joys or sorrows have been submitted to read this morning, but we know that among us today, there are celebrations, losses, gratitudes, sadnesses, and anxious anticipations of all kinds. We hold these in the tender vessel of our longing hearts.
All good.
I'm sorry, that's good.
There is a love, in fact. I invite you to arrive in your bodies. Release whatever you are feeling needs to be released with a few breaths in the way that works for you. I invite you, if you like, to close your eyes or lower your gaze. The words of Thich Nhat Hanh. Let us be at peace with our bodies and our minds. Let us return to ourselves and become wholly ourselves. Let us be aware of the source of being, common to us all and to all living things. Evoking the presence of the great compassion, let us fill our hearts with our own compassion towards ourselves and towards all living things. Let us pray that we ourselves cease to be the cause of suffering to each other. With humility, with awareness of the existence of life and of the sufferings that are going on around us. And there is so much suffering. Let us practice the establishment of peace in our hearts
and on earth. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be.
There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. I rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love.
Our reading today is an excerpt from the Serviceberry by Wall Kimmerer. In the Anishinaabe worldview, it's not just fruits that are understood as gifts, rather all the sustenance that the land provides, from fish to firewood. Everything that makes our lives possible. The splints for baskets, roots for medicines, the trees whose bodies make our homes, and the pages of our books is provided by the lives of more than human beings. This is always true whether it's harvested directly from the forest or whether it's mediated by commerce and harvested from the shelves of a store. It all comes from the earth. When we speak of these, not as things or natural resources or commodities, but as gifts, our whole relationship to the natural world changes. In a traditional Anishinaabe economy, the land is the source of all goods and services, which are distributed in a kind of gift exchange. One life is given and support of another. The focus is on supporting the good of the people, not only an individual. Receiving a gift from the land is coupled to attached responsibilities of sharing, respect, reciprocity, and gratitude, of which you will be reminded. This kind of gratitude is so much more than a polite thank you, not an automatic ritual of manners, but a recognition of indebtedness that can stop you in your tracks. It brings you the realization that your life is nurtured from the body of Mother Earth.
From the day we arrive on the planets and blinking step into the sun, there's more to be seen than can ever be seen, more to do than can ever be done. Some say eat or be eaten, and some say live or let live. But all are agreed as they join the stampede. You should never take more than you give in the circle of life. It's the wheel of fortune. It's the leap of faith. It's the band of hope till we find our place on the path unwinding in the circle of life. Some of us fall by the wayside, and some of us soar to the stars, and some of us sail through our troubles, and some have to live with the scars. There's far too much to take in here, more to find than can ever be found. But the sun rolling high through the sapphire sky leaves great and small on the endless round in the circle of life, and it moves us all through despair and hope, through faith and love, till we find our place on the path unwinding in the circle of life. It's the wheel of fortune. It's the leap of faith. It's the band of hope till we find our place on the path unwinding in the circle of life, on the path in the circle of life.
Yes, that was beautiful. Thank you so much. Whew. I want to thank Reverend Carter, who's not here, who emailed me and said, "Would you like to preach at West Seattle?" I said, "I've been waiting a while to come back." So thank you. And thank you, Lisa. And thank you, all of you, for the beautiful music and for being here this morning on a beautiful sunny day in Seattle. For most of my life, I convinced myself that I didn't know how to grow anything plant-related. My thumb knew better than to even aspire being green. I killed a cactus when I was in my early 20s, not knowing that overwatering would easily cause it to die. Apparently everybody else knew that. I had no idea. And it wasn't until a few years ago when I lamented wanting to grow plants, maybe even tomatoes, that my friends, Deanna Vandiver, some of you will know her, and her partner Phil, came over to help me prepare my front yard so that I can plant some flowers and some herbs. Last year, I got even more bold, and I got big pot to raise tomatoes, to grow tomatoes, and another pot to hopefully grow strawberries, and I did a raised bed in the front. This year, I'm growing plum tomatoes, and Pam, my friend Pam who's here, handed me some kale cuttings and some onions and said, here, grow these. They're growing. I've already eaten some of the kale. Thank you, Pam. And then inside my home, I was still afraid of having houseplants because I had been continuing to live with the idea that I simply couldn't do it. I killed a cactus. After all, how could I keep anything else alive? And then another friend of mine came over one day with several plants and said, I'm going to show you how to do this. That was over 4 years ago, and I am so happy to report that every single plant she brought over is thriving. Thank you. I learn a lot from my friends who share their knowledge, their talents. And I begin with this story to illustrate the reciprocal relationship that I have with the people that I love in my life. The people who, when I say a need and they recognize that they know that they can help me and offer their time, talent, and patience for me to learn something new, they jump in. They could have easily have said, well, the local nursery has classes and you can go over there and see what you can learn, or you can go on YouTube, or you can get a book. They came over and said, we are going to hold your hand as you learn this. So as I was reading the Serviceberry, the book by Robin Wall Kimmerer, a Potawatomi botanist and author, whose most famous book is Braiding Sweetgrass, her latest book is The Serviceberry, about the gift economy and about a one way out of the mess that humanity currently finds itself. She invites us to return to what was once prevalent among indigenous cultures across what is now known as the Americas. As I told the story of the potlatch this morning, she talks about the culture of potlatch. But it wasn't just about giving gifts. It was about a societal culture that at its core values reciprocity and giving freely out of abundance rather than what we have now, hoarding out of scarcity. Now, she uses her knowledge and love, deep love and gratitude for the earth itself in service to teaching us, those of us who need to continue to learn how to transform what is happening. Kimmerer illustrates the value of moving from a strictly transactional ownership-based society whose economic growth is predicated on violent, extractive capitalist practices, coupled with manufactured scarcity, to an abundance-based society that measures success, growth, and thriving through meeting the needs of all living things. It is not an accident. It was quite intentional that the Canadian government in the late 1800s wanted to outlaw the potlatch. They didn't want an alternative to the idea of ownership, right? How we live is a result of stories we tell ourselves. When we insist on stories of supremacy ideologies that result in dehumanization and the devaluing of the vibrancy of all kinds of life forms on the planet, we perpetuate a system that is killing us all. Kimmerer writes, quote, "Our patterns of gross overconsumption have brought us to the brink of disaster. What would it be like to consume with the full awareness that we are the recipients of earthly gifts, which we have not earned, to consume with humility? We are called to harvest honorably with restraint, respect, reverence, and reciprocity." Now, before contact with the Europeans, natives to this land knew that interdependence with the land, sea, air, and animals was the only sustainable way to maintain life for future generations. Now, this isn't to say that there didn't exist conflicts and fights among tribes. Of course, tensions and challenges existed. Humans have never lived in perfect harmony with each other. However, it is crucial to understand that while humans always fought each other, this is the first time in our human story that we are depleting the very resources we need to continue to exist on this planet. We are polluting our water. Deforestation is wiping out entire ecosystems. The lungs of the earth are threatened by multinational corporations that care nothing for sustainability. Now, whenever I start talking about the ways violent extractive capitalism have put humanity on a path of almost certain destruction, and that we must put aside the idea that centering money and hoarding wealth is the ultimate goal, and I talk about this all the time, I'm really fun at parties, inevitably, those of you who are my friends know, inevitably someone, one of my friends, usually a male, will say some version of, "Aisha, that's unrealistic, that's utopia." To that, I always give the same exact response. Why is our default war, violence, and terror? Why is that the realistic thing? We have been conditioned by the media, Hollywood, and now social media to believe that we are by our very nature violent, greedy creatures. I refuse to accept that premise. Rather, thank you. Yes, I love the amen, snaps, whatever you want to say, I'm into it. I believe that modern humans who center capitalist warmongering ideals honestly suffer from a lack of imagination, because it doesn't take imagination to manipulate your way into amassing wealth. It is not an accident that the tech bros and billionaires are overwhelmingly white men. I know that not every single billionaire is a white man. However, according to statistics, about 90% of all the billionaires on the planet are men, and 65% are white. White supremacy has created and reinforced a system that benefits those whose identities continue to match those of the British Empire, of monarchs of the British Empire, and the founders of the United States. That is not an accident. The brutality of colonization is not limited to enslavement and genocide of human beings. It includes the decimation of land and a core belief that land and resources are to be owned and used in service to profit rather than in service to future generations. In Kimmerer's second book, Braiding Sweetgrass, she invites the reader into expanding the notion of what modern life has conditioned us into thinking, that we are individuals who can make it on our own. Now, both Braiding Sweetgrass and the Serviceberry illustrate the ways that nature itself is our teacher in interdependence. Native populations have lived on these continents, now known as the Americas, for thousands of years. Some estimates range between 12 and 16,000 years. Christopher Columbus arrived in 1492, and it's only 434 years later that human, animal, and plant life on Earth is in peril. And who did they call the savages? Right? Now, a note on Columbus. I'm a Gen Xer, and those of us who grew up going to most schools, public or private in the United States, were taught what? That Columbus discovered a land with several 100 million people on it, but sure. He accidentally landed in the Caribbean, and it was a very benign narrative. What Columbus sailed the ocean blue, I never really quite learned the song, but he claimed the land for Spain. For the monarchs at the time who funded his endeavor, King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. Now, we know now that much is left out of that narrative, most especially the brutality of the colonizers. When Columbus returned to Spain, he immediately wrote to Ferdinand and Isabella about his travels, and here is what he had to say about the indigenous population he encountered. This is from his letters, quote, and he's talking here about the Taino people. They are timid and full of terror, but when they see they are safe and all fear is banished, they are very guileless and honest and very liberal of all they have. No one refuses the asker anything that he possesses. On the contrary, they themselves invite us to ask for it. They manifest the greatest affection towards all of us, exchanging valuable things for trifles, content with the very least thing or nothing at all. Whenever I read that, I continue to feel almost a physical pinch and pain at the line, when they see they are safe. Knowing what becomes of all the indigenous people of the Americas, there was nothing safe then, there is nothing safe now about how the indigenous populations in every corner of the globe have been treated by colonizers and by unchecked, violent, extractive capitalism. I am thinking about what is continuing to happen in Gaza and Palestine. In her book, An Indigenous People's History of the United States, Roxanne Dunbar Ortiz writes, quote, by the end of the 1500s, the total population of what we now call the Western Hemisphere was about 100 million people. Approximately 40 million were in North America and Mexico. Central Mexico alone supported some 30 million people. For comparison, at the time, the population of all of Europe extending to the Ural Mountains in eastern Russia was only about 70 million. Indigenous people knew how to cultivate the land, live in harmony with the land for thousands of years. Complex irrigation and agriculture techniques were well established, and in fact were taught to the settlers who needed to learn how to grow food in this unfamiliar land in which they arrived. It is because of the giving culture of the people who lived here that the colonizers thrived and were able to learn. And look what happened. These cultures thrived. Do not believe the lie that the only thing that we need to do is hoard wealth. I will tell you, I don't know that I've seen a group of unhappier people than when they pan on the billionaires, no matter where they are. And I want to say, so now you have literally everything. What now? So these bunkers, side note, I'm going to digress for a second. These bunkers they're building, I was saying to someone, so I don't understand. They're just going to hide in, billionaires, or you could Google it. They're building bunkers and they're going to hide. And I said, so then they're going to be disconnected, not have community, and not connect with anyone. And I was saying this to a friend who said to me, they're doing that now. Who are they connected with now? Diseases that existed in Europe did not exist here until the Europeans arrived en masse and brought with them diseases that killed thousands of indigenous people. And let's not forget manifest destiny and the doctrine of discovery. Simply put, the notion put forth by the Catholic Church that any land discovered with occupants who are not Catholic, they say not Christian, but really not Catholic, can be taken, and it is the divine right of Christians to own land God has given them. Now, on March 30th, 2023, the Vatican formally repudiated the doctrine of discovery, issuing a statement that declared that the 15th century papal decrees, quote, did not adequately reflect the equal dignity and rights of indigenous people and had never been considered valid expressions of the Catholic faith. Better late than never, I suppose. The impact of the doctrine of discovery, which was used to codify land ownership, continues to be felt to this day. So what are we to do? I firmly believe that nothing is inevitable. The popularity of Kimmerer's work indicates that there is a deep desire to live differently. I know that more people want an existence that supports and nurtures all forms of life so that life on Earth, including and especially human life, can thrive for future generations. And the way to do this is by decentering violent extractive practices that center the individual and consumption and center interdependent practices, and move to ways that center interdependent practices that center community care and sustainability. In Braiding Sweetgrass, Kimmerer writes, "If one tree fruits, they all fruit. There are no soloists. Not one tree in a grove, but the whole grove. Not one grove in the forest, but every grove, all across the county and all across the state. The trees act not as individuals, but somehow as a collective. Exactly how they do this, we don't know yet, but what we see is the power of unity. What happens to one happens to us all. We can starve together or feast together. All flourishing is mutual." Now, in the Serviceberry, Kimmerer illustrates the value of moving away from a strictly transactional, ownership-based society whose economic growth is predicated on these harmful practices. And she gives really sweet stories of abundance and what it would look like to share. And one of the stories, one of my favorites, is she talks about a farm stand and it had a sign that said "free farm stand." So people who grew and had an abundance of zucchini or whatever flowers would put it in the farm stand, and people were invited to take what they wanted, kind of like the little free library, but with food. So she said one day the farm stand was gone, and someone pointed out, well, it did say "free farm stand." Right. So she said, because the people who continue to center capitalism are like, you have to own things or people will take them. And she said, yeah, sure, someone took the farm stand. But about a year later, someone doing an Eagle Scout project built several farm stands and put them all over the neighborhood. And it's not something necessarily people need to get upset about. Somebody needed a farm stand. Maybe they put it to good use. And we can at any time tell ourselves a different story of how to live. Money is paper. We can't live. If we look at it objectively, we can't eat it, we can't breathe it. It does not in and of itself, pieces of paper, help us live. I mean, if you have seeds in it and it could grow food and you plant it, sure, maybe, but I don't think we make money out of seeds, right? Kimmerer continues, our patterns of gross overconsumption have brought us to the brink of disaster. Now, she asks, when an economic system actively destroys what we love, isn't it time for a different system? I mean, I think so. The answer has always been a resounding yes. We do not need to live this way. We can invest, and we are investing, in ways to heal ourselves and build community. We can learn from the indigenous populations across the globe who know the land the best and who understood and continue to understand how best to live sustainably off the land in ways that the land thrives, animals thrive, and we thrive. It is mutual. Now, Kimmerer shares with us what she calls unwritten guidelines that indigenous populations have lived by for millennia. She calls these guidelines the honorable harvest. Now, she said while they have never been written down, I guess until the Serviceberry, she said they are reinforced in small acts of daily life. And here they are, quote, she writes, if I were to list them, they would look something like this. Know the ways of the ones who take care of you so that you can take care of them. Is that really necessary? Okay, sorry. Some days it's hard to practice what I preach. Deep breaths. Know the ways of the ones who take care of you so that you can take care of them. Introduce yourself. Be accountable as the one who comes asking for a life. Ask permission before taking. Abide by the answer. Never take the first one. Never take the last. Take only what you need. Take only that which is given. Never take more than half. Leave some for others. Harvest in a way that minimizes harm. Use it respectfully. Never waste what you have taken. Share. Give thanks for what you have been given. Give a gift in reciprocity for what you have taken. Sustain the ones who sustain you, and the earth will last forever. And that is the goal, my friends, to sustain each other and life on planet Earth. The Earth will last, at least until the sun explodes a few million years from now. What is at stake is our survival and thriving, and the survival of life-giving and life-sustaining ecosystems. I know this adage is about trees, but I am saying that about sustainability. The best time to act was 534 years ago. The next best time is now. May it be so. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be.
Thank you, Aisha. That was wonderful. Hit me at home. I invite you now all to rise in body or spirit as we sing one of our favorites, Blue Boat Home. I want to take a second here first to thank Mark for filling in for John. He's doing a great job. Appreciate him. And of course, we've got Ronnie back again today and Marion on bass. And thank them.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions
Thank you.
What a wonderful time to be together today. Please be seated. I would like to express appreciation from me, of course, to our guest speaker and teacher and storyteller, Aisha. So glad to have you. Don't be a stranger. And to our musicians, of course, Scott and Mark and Ronnie and Mary. And I want to say, Mark, a day that begins with Scott Joplin is always a good day. Amen. To our chalice lighter and resident poet, Dejan Shagrud. To our tech experts, Nate Mesnard and Sarah Deppe in the AV booth. To our greeters here in the sanctuary and our hospitality team downstairs at coffee hour. It is always, as always, it has been a pleasure and blessing to do this sacred work together. Now, please keep looking at your West Side Week newsletter over the summer, because it is still full of details about congregational happenings and opportunities for connection. And before you know it, we will be upon ingathering in September, so we are starting to roll in that direction. As a reminder, for next month, in August, on the second and fourth Sundays when we're here, we collect donations in the foyer for the White Center Food Bank. There is yet more need during the summer due to school breaks and family transitions. Check the newsletter for what items they feel are most useful, and it's right there, that basket out in the foyer. And there are 2 wonderful worship services coming up in August. Details in the newsletter. Our next Sunday gathering will be on August 6th, with Reverend Carter, joined by worship associate Liz Bucklew and guest speaker, Westside member Henry Sikora, for a service entitled What We Deserve. Many of you know Henry, who's here today, who is on our tech team for several years, is now a student at the Evergreen College in Olympia. He will preach about what it means to deserve something and how societal views on undeserving impact our lives. Music will be led by Rainier Reunion. You do not want to miss this one.
Our closing words are by Paul Robeson. Sorrow will one day turn to joy. All that breaks the heart and oppresses the soul will one day give place to peace and understanding, and everyone will be free. May you go into this week blessed and blessing the world. Nope. And now Dejan is going to release our flame. And then you will go into this week blessed and blessing the world. We hold you in our love as you go.
I invite you all to rise as we sing for our sending hymn today. We give thanks. A little different.